Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it, The Background Does Not Care, or should I say does not mind. And this actually is a continuation of a question that I answered yesterday, because the videos are numbered. Just look at the number prior to this one. I don't remember the title of it right now. And the person says, but the background doesn't give a darn about anything, to tell the truth. It's just silent, and its peace is not mine. I'll have to keep digging to see what happens. Thanks for helping me remember. And then the answer that I offered in writing, and then we'll elaborate a bit. I said, what happens is that you believe you and the background are two different things. That's why you say the piece of the background is not mine. Imagine you're sleeping and dreaming, and in the dream, you, the figure in the dream, say, I don't feel peace. But the reality is that that figure in the dream is non-existent. And this is where the stumbling block lies. And as long as you continue to believe that you have to understand this, you will be running in circles for the rest of eternity. And that's why ultimately the only thing that's needed is absolute surrender, forgetting all of this so that the background begins to become more relevant than the world of appearances. That's why exploring who I am is ultimately the most important thing. You see, the person is talking from the reference point of me, individual. The background is something separate from me, but you are the background, because what he's pointing to here is that you simply are. The principle of knowing is what is capable of knowing everything, but you are the principle itself. You are not that which is known. In other words, right now, when the investigation of who I am becomes relevant, then all the questions immediately drop. Right now, for example, if you don't identify with any thoughts, because remember, thoughts are appearing or seems to be appearing in what I am. This is not something that the conceptual mind can grasp, because the mind itself, which is a thought, happens in what you are. Do you see? See the trap? So right now, if I ask you, who are you? You will have to go to the mind. You have to come to a thought. I am this is my name, this is who I am, I have a history, but these are all thoughts. The fact is that you simply are. Can you say that you're not? Right now, if you don't identify with any thoughts, they will be there, that's fine. And they can be used for practical purposes, but in reality, they're just thoughts. If you don't identify with any thoughts, then what remains? What remains is the fact that I am. And you always are. And that is the background that is always, that never changes. You, the seeming person, changes. The thoughts that seems to be appearing changes. The sensations that seems to be felt changes. Everything changes, but you don't. You see? And the only challenge here, which is the only challenge with every single question, is that there have to be an identification with the seeming individual, the conceptual mind, the I that I claim to be, in order to come up with a question that the mind cannot resolve. And the question is the last resort the mind uses to try to hold on to a sense of identity. The words are being used to point to what is. When that is recognized, all questions immediately drop. There's no need to questions and answers. Yes, questions and answers will be used only for practical reasons. How do I get to the supermarket? Walk 2 blocks, it's on the left, you know. How do I work this computer? You do this, you press this, you do that. How do I turn the lights on? You go right over there, there's a switch. You see, these are questions that are used for practical matters. Yeah, that's fine. But the questions about existence of what I am immediately drops, because now you know that you are always being. You see, you're not human, you're being. It's just the word human that gets in the way. And you can never not be. Try not to be right now. The only reason you think you're human is because you learned the word, the concept human, and you're applying it to the sense of being, and then you says, I'm a human being. And because in the perception you see other bodies, other human beings, other humans, for example, you begin to learn through association and through repetition, imitation. But in reality, you simply are. It's like being in a madhouse where everybody believes something and you started believing that because that's what you were taught. You never question it. But there's something within you begins to feel different. There's something, there's an awareness, there's a wisdom that it begins to blossom, but that wisdom is covered up with all this stuff that you think you know based on who you think you are. That's what I wrote the book, You're Not Crazy, You're Healing. Because it seems as though there's a collective beliefs about who we think we are, and now you're beginning to wake up from that. And at the beginning, it's not really painful at all. It's just the most natural thing. You simply are. But it seems to be painful because we have all these concepts about who we are, about how life is, and all these ideas that the mind is trying to hold on to as a last resort to avoid its demise. You see? That's why I believe in India or something like that, they have a quote that says you have to learn to die while you're alive. The death we're talking about here is not the death of the body. The body cannot die because the body doesn't even exist. It's the death of the psychological idea of who I think I am. You see? And when that happens, all you experience is peace, the peace that passes all understanding. What makes it sort of painful is that the mind attached that belief to so many things. If I let go of my sense of identity, I'm going to lose my job. I don't know how to function in this world. I'm going to lose all the things that I'm attached to, the things that I so much want. No. What you're going to lose is the fear. But what remains is peace. And that peace is how you move through the world of appearances. You will still continue playing the role that you're playing. Whatever your job or career is, you will still play that role, but now you don't take it so seriously. It's just basically another role you're playing. It's a costume you're putting on, and then you take it off because you always know who you are. While everyone is thinking that they are who they think they are, you know who you truly are. And that's how you smile more often. You don't take the specifics of the world so seriously. I am a pilot. No, you put the uniform of a pilot, you play the role of a pilot, but you know you're not a pilot. You simply know that you are. I'm a doctor. No, you play the uniform, you put the uniform as a doctor, you show up as a doctor, while at the same time you know that all that there is ever presence. All these bodies are not really, are just simply energy that seems to manifest in a particular shape like you do. And you take care of them, you do the same thing you would do as a doctor, but with a different mentality. You see? You will play all the roles that you're playing right now, but you don't believe the roles because you know who you are. And you are that background that we're talking about. That ever-presence, non-conceptual existence. And this is where these videos are pointing to. So when you begin to question, when you begin to ask, who am I? But see, the mind is the first one who jump on that wagon. Okay, who am I? To see if it can find an answer. You will never find an answer. You will never find a conceptual answer because, again, the mind is a thought itself within what you are. So conceptual answers, you will not find them. The question, who am I, is not to get an answer, is to notice what is. Right now, if you don't identify with any thoughts, if you don't believe any thoughts, it doesn't matter. Whatever may be happening, it doesn't matter. Right now, don't identify, don't believe any thoughts, and you cannot negate the fact that you are. You see? If you leave it there, you're fine. But the moment I believe, okay, I am what? I am who? You see? If you can be comfortable enough with just resting in I am, then you're fine. Then life is happening. Everything is fresh. Thoughts appear. They can be seen, not believed. See the difference? Sensations appear. That's fine. If you don't let the thought tell you what the sensation means, you see, then the sensation is a sensation. And if something needs to be done to take care of that sensation, since you know that you are alive and life is living you, you observe how life moves the character to do something if something needs to be done. But whatever it is done, whether it's taking care of it by seeing someone who knows about these kinds of things, or not doing anything, it doesn't matter, I don't know. Whatever you find yourself doing, you're doing it in peace because you know who you are. You're resting in the peace that you are. See, rest in peace. This is what this is pointing to. That's why the most important thing is not about the details and the specifics of the dream, you know. The background and me are something different. No, the background and you are not something different. That you who you think you are is a thought that makes believe that you and the background are something different. But if you begin to question that thought and you realize I am, not you the person, you see, this is the stumbling block I'm talking about. Then, right now, can you say that you are not? Can you honestly say that you are not? At the beginning the mind goes, I don't know what it means. It always is very obvious. Right now you are. You cannot be. You cannot not be. You are. That's it. This is where this is pointing to. That's it. If you really grab this, you're finished. You're done. Congratulations. See? You are. That's it. And it's the most ordinary thing. You are while you're watching this video. You are while you're going to the bathroom. You are while you're making dinner. You are while you're going to work. You are while you're sitting at the bus station if you happen to take a bus. You are while you're driving. You are while you're sleeping. You are while you are going about the things of the day. You are. And the mind is constantly, which is thought keeps appearing, and what they're trying to do is to translate everything. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? But what if you simply are? Does that mean that if I am, I will not be able to translate anything and I'll be lost in the world and I will not know how to function? No, the translation will continue on, but the psychological suffering will drop because the translation is for practical purpose. Right now, there's an object in front of me. In reality, we're all the same energy field, but within the context of the seeming dream, there's an object. The mind goes, boom, camera. Okay, boom, what is it used for? Boom, how do I turn it on? You see, all these translations are coming up because they're part of the functionality of this particular moment, that's all. But the translation of kum, I am a human being, kum, I am good enough, kum, I'm not good enough, kun, that person is better than me, moon, oh my God, what's going to happen with the world, oh, I'm afraid to die. See, all that stuff is what drops. You see, all this conceptual drops because that has to attach to something. If there's no human being, if there's no me, I'm good enough. Okay, well, where that belongs to, I don't know. Who I can attach, I'm not good enough. I have to attach it to something, but if there's not a something to attach it to, I'm not good enough, it's a thought. I'm not worthy, it's a thought. I am better than, is a thought. Somebody's better than. All these thoughts are seen like passing clouds because they don't have anything to attach to. You see? You need a person to have all the thoughts make any sense. If there's no one there, then I'm good enough. Who's not good enough? Who is he talking to? What is he pointing? I don't know. Because I am. You see? So you're resting in the I am. This is where this is all pointing to. And the I am is the background that I'm referring to, which is not personal. You see? And again, in the question you can, or in the comment, you can see that the person is so attached to a sense of identity, is trying to grasp this with the mind, not realizing that that thought, that mind, that conceptual thinking is the problem itself, is the obstacle itself. Again, conceptual thinking is not a problem when it's used for practical reasons. It becomes a problem when it's used to try to define myself. So right now, you simply are. Can you say that you're not? There's nothing to do. There's no, it's just being. That's all. And that's it. Rest in what is. That's the background. That's what you are. End of story. Okay, well, this is the inspiration that came through. I hope it served, and as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.